All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into a totally fascinating case study in digital culture and modern music production. We're going to completely deconstruct the explosive success of the Replace to Be music video. Now, if you've been following the evolving landscape of digital music at all, you already know the lines between virtual and reality are blurring incredibly fast. But, every so often, a release drops that doesn't just blur those lines, it completely redraws them. So we're going to break down exactly how this track achieved such massive virality, taking a really close look at the data, the talent, and the absolute production powerhouse behind the whole shebang.
Okay, let's dive into this. Number one, that is literally the holy grail for any digital content creator or musician, right? This specific video absolutely smashed its way to the #1 trending spot for normal videos in Japan. It didn't just perform well, it completely took over. It became the dominant cultural conversation of the day in what is, frankly, one of the most highly competitive digital media markets on the planet. And hitting that top spot, that takes a perfect storm of anticipation, algorithmic favorability, and just sheer brute force audience mobilization. But honestly, the rank is only half the story here. 15 hours, that is all it took for this track to go from totally unreleased to the absolute top trending video in Japan. Really think about that for a second. In less time than it takes to get a decent night's sleep and grind through a standard workday, it was dominating the charts. This staggering speed tells us a lot. It tells us this wasn't some slow burn or a quirky trend that just gradually caught on. No way. This was a heavy-hitting launch, highly anticipated by an audience that was literally waiting with their fingers hovering over the refresh button. To really grasp that momentum, let's break down the actual engagement metrics captured right at that 15-hour mark. We're looking at over 327,700 views. But actually, scratch that. The views aren't even the craziest part. The real story is the engagement, over 53,000 likes. Do the math on that for a second. That is a staggering engagement ratio. We're talking about roughly 1 out of every 6 viewers actively mashing that like button, alongside over 2,200 comments. This data represents immediate, rabid fandom. This isn't just a casual audience mindlessly scrolling past. This is a fully activated community showing up in absolute force to support their favorite creators. So you might be wondering, who exactly is commanding this kind of intense loyalty? Well, as we know, the talent driving this aren't your standard pop stars showing their physical faces. They are VTubers. These are highly developed digital personas complete with intricate lore, distinct personalities, and deeply, deeply dedicated fan bases. The whole mechanics of using virtual avatars generated through super advanced computer graphics and motion capture, it just isn't a novelty anymore. It represents a fundamental cultural shift in exactly how we consume personality and music today. And crucially, this wasn't just some random, isolated upload from a creator in their bedroom. It is powered by Nijisanji. When a massive powerhouse agency like that attaches its name to a project, it changes the gravity of the release entirely. They are quite literally one of the primary engines driving global digital idol culture today. Just having the keyword Nijisanji in the video's metadata acts like a giant beacon, funneling huge amounts of organic traffic directly to the track. Basically, when a Nijisanji project drops, the entire ecosystem pays attention. Which brings us to our next section. Who are VACHSS, the All-Star Assembly? Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer concentration of star power we're looking at here. VACHSS isn't just a random assortment of talent, it is a vocal supergroup consisting of Kuzuha, Kanae, Kagami Hayato, Fuwa Minato, Kenmochi Toya, and Yumeoi Kakeru. Putting these 6 powerhouse performers together on a single track, that is essentially an Avengers-level team-up. Every single one of these creators has their own massive dedicated audience, so by joining forces, they completely compound their reach, which perfectly explains that rocket ship trajectory to the #1 trending spot we saw earlier. But even within this incredible supergroup, Yumeoi Kakeru really deserves a massive spotlight. He isn't just lending his voice as a vocalist and VTuber, he's actually the true multi-hyphenate mastermind behind this entire project. He's credited as both the lyricist and the composer of the song. And get this viral video wasn't just published on some faceless corporate channel. It was proudly published directly on his own channel, Yumeoi Kakeru's Jukebox. It is just a stellar showcase of a creator stepping up and taking full ownership of a major collaborative project. All right, let's move into our next section, the backbone, legitimizing the track. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how they legitimized this release. The metadata proudly lists absolute top-tier professionals. We've got arrangement by Yuki Saito, guitar work by Masayomi Shiraishi, recording and mixing by the engineers at Redefine, Yuga Ogawa and Hironobu Asano, and mastering by Tsubasa Yamazaki. Guys, this is the exact same level of professional, credited studio talent you would see on any high-end, chart-topping pop production in the world. They aren't treating this like some novelty internet video. They're treating it like a premium musical release, validating the virtual talent with world-class audio engineering behind the scenes. And here is the absolute kicker. The YouTube metadata tags prominently feature the phrase original song. This is original intellectual property. In a digital landscape that is so often dominated by trendy covers and karaoke-style sing-alongs, VACHSS and Yumeoi Kakeru brought a completely original composition to the table, and they used it to completely dominate internet culture. They didn't just borrow someone else's viral momentum, they literally manufactured their own from scratch. So, as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with a really provocative final thought. If an original VTuber track powered entirely by digital avatars and an intensely dedicated online community can absolutely dominate a major music market like Japan in just 15 hours, well, what does this mean for traditional pop artists? The rulebook for how music is marketed, consumed, and celebrated has fundamentally changed. These digital avatars aren't just the future of online entertainment, they are undeniably the present reality of the music industry. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.